Hi everyone, I'm Mike and welcome to the channel. Today guys, I'm going to be giving you my first impression of the Amical Camping Fan and Lantern. The Amical Portable Camping Fan and LED Lantern has 3 speeds and manual 360-degree rotation. The lantern, which consists of 12 bright LEDs, has 3 settings as well. It's powered by a built-in rechargeable 5,000 milliamp battery. The fan can last for 5 to 40 hours depending on which speed is used, and the LED can last 147 to 440 hours depending on which brightness level is used. Now, I wanted to change things up this year because I usually have a fan with me in the spring, summer, early fall, even sometimes when we have a mild winter. I'd usually take a fan with me out on the trail because it helps me sleep from time to time. And we don't even have to mention that in the summertime, it helps keep us cool. Now, the fan I used to use was a clip-on fan, which I liked. It does a great job, and I might do a review of that sometimes in the future. But this year, I wanted to try something different, and I was looking all over Amazon and a couple other stores for fans that came with their own battery inside, because I hate the fact that sometimes I had to use battery bags where I had the battery proportioned just to what I needed it, or what I was taking with me, or especially on some cold camps where my batteries just wouldn't hold up as long. So without further ado, let me show you what you're going to get and what this little thing can do. Now the fan will come in a box just like this, and inside there will be 2 bags. One will be a bag that has 2 filters in it, which I'll show you what those are for, a USB cord, and a set of instructions. Then the other bag will come the fan itself, and it's pretty straightforward. The bag is then sealed. Mine wasn't, but it didn't affect the fan at all. And that's what it looks like when you get it. Very, very simple shipping, and put that out over there so it's out of the way. And that's what it looked like. Very simple setup and very lightweight. And as you can see, it measures, as I said earlier, about it basically just think of the size of an adult hand. That's about the size of it. You can see the thickness of it. You have 2 buttons, one on the right, one on the left, or one on the front and the back, depending on how it's oriented toward you. But the back button is the LED light. The first push you press on it is going to come on high, then medium, then low, and then off. And then the next button, which is in front of it, is the fan button. And I'm going to try to get maybe this box to try to show you how the power of this fan. But it does offer a lot of bang. This thing does have some blow to it. I don't know how other way to say that, but it does put out some air. Now, it's the opposite of the lantern. When this comes on, it's automatically on the low setting. Then you have the medium setting. Then you have the high setting, and it blew the box right away. It does put out a lot of air. I wish you guys could feel it, but trust me, it is circulating some air, and this will do great inside of a tent or anywhere you might need it. If you need it, when you're driving, or you want to hang this and have it blowing on you, any place where you're going to be stuffy and feel some heat. But I'm taking it for camping and backpacking, and this thing is going to work great. And the last button turns it off. Now, this fan does work simultaneously together with the lantern and the fan. So let's put the light on medium, and then we'll put the fan on medium, and they both work. And you can cycle through the lights, and you can cycle through the fan speeds even while the lantern's going. So they both work great simultaneously. Now, as earlier I listed how each of those are listed on the website as far as time and duration per setting. The only thing it doesn't list, and I'm pretty sure that will depend on temperature where you have this and the length of time each of those run, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty hard to substantiate, but I'm not sure how long this will run with like the fan on high and the LED on high. I'm still thinking, so if the fan goes on high from roughly around 5 hours, that if you put the LED on high, it's going to pull some of the battery out, not much. So you might get 4.5 hours. So I'm probably going to shave that by half an hour, but basically that's my judging of it. But that's the only thing that's missing on the web page is how long the battery will last if both are running simultaneously. But as I said, that's going to be hard to pinpoint because, user settings are going to be different for everybody. The housing of the fan is plastic. It doesn't feel too cheap. I think the base, it would have been better if the base was a rubber, but they do offer 4 rubber pads on each of the corners to give it some grip when it's on some type of surface. But also, as you saw on the bottom, they give you a hook where you can hang it on wherever you want it inside the tent, on a cord, tie a string around a tree, wherever your imagination can take you, you can use the hook. But it also does come with 2 uh, inserts for hanging this on a wall. So if you actually wanted to hang this in an RV, by a bed in an RV, or someplace like that where a wall hanging would do great for this, I think that's a good option. And you can also see here is the USB-C port. I'm trying to get this closer for you. Right there's the USB-C port. This fan runs independently without any power because it does have a 5,000 milliamp battery bank in it, as been stated earlier. But if that battery is low or you don't want to use up the battery power, you can run this to an external power source, such as a plug into another battery bank or a car, a 12-volt port, anything, solar, anything you wanted to run this with, it would. And that's good because just in case this thing dies on you at the worst time, you would also have the option to be able to plug it in. I'm glad they give you that option that you can run power through it as a pass through. So as of right now, this thing is leaving me with a good impression. It's going to do well. I can't speak, of course, on how long the battery is going to last. That's going to take time and use. I will be able to give a update on that down the line, possibly after the summer when I've used this. I do have a separate fan that I use now. It's got a clip-on that I use that has no battery in it, and it automatically, you can't run that unless you have a power source of some kind. But it's nice to know that you can have something like this that will run on its own until the battery bank inside wears out or dies. So we'll see how well this works this summer. I really look forward to using it. Of course, I sleep with a fan most times. Unless I'm on a long hike and I can't bring a fan with me due to weight or just due to temperatures. If it's extremely too cold, I use white noise sometimes from my phone, and that helps a lot. But I can guarantee you, spring, summer, and early fall, I will be using this on all my camping and backpacking ventures to test it out. I will keep you guys updated in the videos of how it's doing from time to time, and possibly give you a full review later at the end of the season, which I think it would get plenty of use of being outside to see how she holds up. Now, on the back of the fan, you'll notice this little circular area that seems a little inset. It does have some information, but there is a purpose of why this is on here. And it all has to do with what's in the bag that comes with it. Now, in this bag, you're going to have a set of instructions. Now, these instructions, I actually read a couple of the reviews, and people were saying they were just in Chinese. I don't think they realized that if you just flip them over, they're in English. So it's a 2-language instruction book. Put that aside. It's very simple, but it answers any questions you might have. Of course, a USB-C cable. It's amazing how many of these we collect over time, isn't it? I've probably got 50 of these, but I do appreciate it when it comes with any electronic product. So let's put that aside. Here's what I was talking about on the back of that fan. And these can be used for aroma, believe it or not. They thought of that, and I think that's a very clever little idea. If you look right here on the back of the fan, in that little insetted circle, you're going to see these cutouts. Okay, now if you take this little, feels almost like like a foam, like a stiff foam. If you drip some scents in this, whatever you would like. Pine, rosebud. I'm not going to come up with any scents, but whatever aromas that you could put in this, it's made so you could put this in the back of the fan, and that scent will come through the vents, and the fan will blow it out, of course, the other side. I think that's really a really good idea because what I'm thinking of doing is possibly finding a scent or something I can put in this as a diffuser for mosquitoes or bugs. I'm going to think about that. I'm not sure what to do about that right now. That'll be future and it'll probably be in a short. But that isn't that pretty clever to have a little inset like that that you can put in there, and it comes with two. But you could probably make these also on your own without buying them. Use these as a template, cut it out of another piece of foam, and stuff that in the back. That is a clever, clever little idea, and it still doesn't restrict any of the airflow from coming in the back. Of course, it has all this area. So there you go. A neat little product that's going to get a lot of use on our channel. I also want to show you the 360-degree rotation that you have with this fan. Not only can you turn it this way, in every direction, of course, and it will lock, but you can also turn it this way. So if it's hanging and you need to go over here, just, I've got to turn too far. There it is. Turn, and it will rotate. And you need it rotated over here, rotate it backwards. That is a good, good little fan for which could be some awkward places you might have to hang this while out on the trail or in your tent or bivvy. Okay, so what's this? Right now we're in the one lightless room that I can provide, which is our spare bathroom. And the camera is right now pointing at our shower curtain. Don't you love those lovely dragonflies? All right, stop laughing. The camera, the GoPro, is exactly, I just measured 3 feet from the curtain. And I'm going to show you just how bright and how well this little tiny fan does with that lantern inside. Now I'm going to shut the light off. Don't worry, I'm still here. And I have the lantern right in front of the GoPro, right below it. Let's click this on high. That's on high. Now the spiral you see is the lights behind the fan blade. So I'm going to turn the fan blade on real quick to show you what it does. Let me cycle through the speeds real quick. Now that is high. That does give a nice all-around light that you can see. It's not obtrusive. It's not extremely bright, but it's not extremely low either. Here is the middle setting, which is just a small step down, but still bright enough to see everything. And here is the low setting. Now that low setting is almost, if I could compare it to something, it would probably be a small night light you might have plugged into the wall someplace. But it does give you ample light to see around you, and at 3 feet away, I can see and make out everything within arm's length. I know, right? It's pretty impressive. I did not think this little fan could put out that much wind. I was shocked. It's more powerful than my other fan because the other fan that I have the clip on I've used for years has a smaller blade, but this thing really puts out some air. So I'm looking forward to using it 10th this year and the upcoming warmer months. I'll show it to you guys when I use it. I'll point it out, let you know just how it handles. It looks like it's going to do pretty good. I don't imagine I'm going to have to use the LED much just because I bought it for the fan. The LED is something nice to have as a backup. You know, two is one and one is none. So I always carry my headlamp or another light with me, and you always have our phone. But it's good to know that I do have an LED inside it just in case I'm inside in the dark and I can't reach my headlamp or can't find it because I pretty much know I'm going to have this somewhere near my face blowing on me, and it wouldn't take much for me to reach up there and hit the LED switch. So I'm looking forward to using it, guys. I'll keep you posted on how it does, of course, but I can guarantee you this little fan is going to get a lot of use. And the big thing I'm going to have to do, well, two big things I'm going to have to do is number one, I'm going to have to find out where I'm going to hang it up. I'm thinking about tying some strings up in my tent, or I might have to actually put one across me, like when I'm hanging in my hammock, like this. I don't know. I'll come up with some ideas. And the other thing is where I'm going to put it in my backpack. I'll come up with something. It's also nice to see that those LEDs do put out some light. I bet on that low setting, I definitely could see it lasting as long as they suggest it's going to last. I'm going to put those times to use when I'm out in the backcountry, but this little thing does put out some light as well. As of right now, good job, Amicable. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. I'm out.